Hello everyone, here I have come to discuss another important topic which is regulatory bodies. The term regulation and the term regulatory bodies are very important in the cases of management. We all aware or all know about the term of rules and regulation. Rules and regulation is very much important in our life and also in any kind of organization to maintain the functional and developmental strategy of those particular organization. And there are a certain authority or certain construction authority body which maintain and establish these rules and regulation. These bodies are called regulatory bodies. We will know this topic one by one. Okay, so we will enter the main portion of the topic. So today's topic is regulatory bodies and it is under the stream of nursing management. So at first, regulation. The term regulation means rules and restriction. Each organization frames has its own rules and regulation to the employees. And this regulation is maintained by each of the employee of the particular organization. So regulation means the particular rules and restriction. Next we will discuss about regulatory system. It is a system that provides for the enrichment of care through improved standards of education, for the development of practice and the creation of codes of conduct and ethics. Regulatory system. Regulatory system is provided to maintain the rules and restriction of the particular organization on the basis of to maintain the codes of conduct and ethics. Then we will discuss about professional body. A professional body is a group of professionals who are responsible for maintaining the legitimate practice of the profession. Legitimate practice means the practice which is under the rules. Okay, sometimes there are many kind of practice which are unofficial. Unofficial practice are not legitimate practice. Legitimate practice is the practice who are under officially registered. Okay, and the practice are constructed under the official rules. Okay, so professional body maintains standards of professional education. Then the regulatory bodies. What is regulatory bodies? A regulatory body is an external organization that has been empowered by legislation to supervise and control the educational process and outputs. Regulatory bodies maintains the rules restriction and also maintains the educational process and controls the educational process and also observe its output. That means rules regulation apply and to see the output of the rules and regulation. The primary purpose of regulatory bodies is to protect the interest of the public. These are the authorized bodies to make rules and regulation. That means this body maintains rules and regulation, and by maintaining the rules and regulation it's protect the interest of the public. Okay. Nurses are considered to be the heart and soul of the healthcare settings, the frontline caregiver to the clients. Supporting nurses through their critical entry into the profession is not only good for the development of the nurse, but also it is most important to the good of the patient. Regulation implies that intervention of the government to accomplish an end beneficial to the citizens. Okay, so regulation, we should have a clear about regulation. And health professionals such as nurses, doctors, pharmacy and many others are regulated and licensed by regulatory bodies. So what is the functions of regulatory body? To give license, to give registers of the of the nursing profession, not only nursing profession but also healthcare profession like doctor, nurses, in other field, other profession also. But we have discussed about healthcare profession. So in the cases of healthcare profession like doctor, nurses, pharmacist, etc. Okay. Nursing regulatory bodies receive their authority from legislation. It is mandatory for nurses to register with a state nursing regulatory body as a registered nurse and registers midwife and takes licensure to practice. Okay, so what is regulatory bodies? I hope you guys can understood about the regulatory system and regulatory bodies. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me about this topic in the comment section. Okay, so we will discuss the next part. The next part is aims of regulatory bodies of nursing. Okay. In the first point, there is setting, monitoring, and enforcing essential standards. Standards mean procedures. The procedures feature practices in the cases of healthcare providers and in the cases of various kinds of hospitals. So, in these procedures are set, monitored, and enforced by the regulatory bodies. Okay. Improving and sustaining education, training, and practice. The syllabus of the education, the pattern of the training and practice also sustained and improved by the regulatory bodies. Providing a framework for nursing practice. Nursing practice should be a framework base. Okay, so this framework is provided by regulatory bodies. Providing legitimacy, that means officially supported protection and support to nurses. Nurses are supported and protected and given legitimated by the regulatory bodies. Promoting regulation of the profession, that means promoting the particular rules, restriction, and regulation by the profession. Promoting the particular rules, restriction, and regulation to the nursing profession by the regulatory bodies. Encouraging nurses to participate in and influence public debate or health policy. Okay, it is very much important to interest or to attain in the debate, in the public health debate. So the regulatory bodies, so it is a very important function of the regulatory bodies that the regulatory bodies encourages the nurses to participate in and to influence the public debate. Okay, so these are the aims of the regulatory bodies. What are the aims of regulatory bodies? I think you guys can understand about this. Okay, so that means the aims of regulatory body is to maintain the standards and objectives of the nursing profession, and by the practices of the regulatory bodies nursing profession can be standardized. Okay, so then the objectives of regulatory bodies in nursing. At first, protect the public by ensuring qualified and competent practitioners in nursing through certification, registration, and licensures. Previously, I have told about that regulatory body maintains the norms, maintains the basic norms, rules, regulation, and also it maintains the syllabus pattern, the staffing pattern, the curriculum pattern of the nursing profession. So one student in the student life, one can achieve these all the training period and study period, then he have a registered nurse and licensed nurse. So so this kind of registration and license are given by the regulatory bodies, and also who are able to attain or take this kind of registration, though those participate are able. Okay, so these are given by the regulatory bodies. Next, to define scope and standards of education, training, and practice, to reflect and be responsive to the country's healthcare needs, to develop codes of ethics. Every profession have a particular codes of ethics. These codes of ethics are developed by regulatory bodies, professional conduct, and job classification, to maintain and update knowledge, skill, and attitude of the profession, to prepare strict regulation and place an effective monitoring mechanism such as anti-ragging measures. Strict rules and strict regulation is very much needed in kind of every profession, and these strict rules regulation are maintained by the regulatory bodies. Okay, so if you have any doubt about this portion, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, then role of professional and regulatory bodies. At first, to ensure the public's right to quality healthcare service, and then to support and assist professional members. So, to ensure the public's right to quality healthcare service by setting and enforcing standards of nursing practice. The standards, the basic standards, norms are set and enforced by regulatory bodies. Monitoring and enforcing standards for nursing education and practice. The syllabus of the education, the exam pattern are regulated and monitored and set by the regulatory bodies, and also the nursing practice are monitored by regulatory bodies. Setting requirements for registration of nursing professionals. That means the criteria which are needed for a person to get the registration. These basic criteria are set by the regulatory bodies and determined by the regulatory bodies. Then to support and assist professional members by safeguarding the interest of the public and the interest of the professional practices through association and proper communication. Then safeguarding its self-interest through having act to maintain its own privileged and powerful position as a controlling body. It also acts as a controlling and regulatory body to maintain the rules and to safeguard the public's interest to maintain its own privileged and powerful position. Okay. Then functions of nursing regulatory bodies. At first, accreditation of nursing institution. That means giving permission to establish a officially nursing institution. Then registration of nurses within their respective state. Setting standards for education and practice. Basic standard set. Okay. Then development of code of conduct and ethics. Then setting registration norms and procedures. Then setting criteria for expanding the scope of the profession, to maintain and to expanding the scope of the profession. Then ensuring competent and ethical practices by the nurses. Then safeguard the public by communicating the professional development. Then taking appropriate action against incompetent and unethical members, and also against members impaired by alcohol, drugs or mental condition. Then regular reporting and recording to the government in the particular cases. Okay, these are all of the function of the regulatory bodies. I hope you people can understand about the function of the regulatory bodies, the objective, the goals of the regulatory bodies. And then types of regulatory bodies in nursing. There are 4 types of regulatory bodies in nursing, like Indian Nursing Council (INC), State Nursing Councils (SNRC), Trained Nurses Association of India (TNAI), and Student Nurses Association of India (SNA). Today I have told about the types of regulatory bodies in nursing, only the name. What are the name? INC, SNRC, TNAI and SNA. In the next class, in the next period, we will discuss about this topic. That means INC, SNRC, TNAI, SNA in details. Okay. So, group, have you any query about this topic? The topic regulation, regulatory bodies, functions, goals, patterns, types of regulatory bodies. If you have any kind of query and question, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay. So today I have discussed about the regulatory bodies, the function of the regulatory bodies. But we learn about the regulatory bodies, the roles, the objectives, etc. So For further question, I have already told you can ask me in the comment section. And the types of the regulatory body like IN, CSNRC, these types we will discuss about the next class. And previous, and my this YouTube channel is new, and it is a particularly nursing basis channel. Okay, so I have given a topic like in today's morning. So guys, you can see this topic. The name of the topic is care of adolescents. You can see this topic, and you can see also this topic, and you please and please review my presentation. Okay, so thank you group. Okay, goodbye.